Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. Today is Saturday and it is May 23rd. On our show today we have the City of Hope with Dr. Salgia, and he is great information. He's got great information with just a lot of stuff that's going on at the City of Hope, and he just wants to make sure everyone knows who does have appointments with the City of Hope, that you can definitely keep those appointments going forward. And then we also have RadNet. We have Dr. Mark Stein. He's going to talk about why it's so important to make sure that you keep any future appointments for imaging and radiology. Now let's go straight to our weather. Today is looking beautiful. Today we have 72-58, very nice today, with some low clouds and sunshine. Then we have Sunday at 78-59, some low clouds and sunshine. And then Monday we are creeping up to be a bit warmer, 83-60. So it's looking pretty good with no clouds on that day. All right, when we come back, we are going to have the City of Hope. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, with us today via Zoom, I have Dr. Salgia, who is here with us from the City of Hope. Dr. Salgia, thank you for being with us. How are you doing?
Thank you, Lisa. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're very good. We're certainly getting used to all these Zooms these days. So I think we'll probably be doing this about another month or so. We really don't know, but thank you so much for joining us. So I know we had a discussion a while ago with someone from City of Hope, and we really were just talking about, how you've had to change a lot of the way that you've been doing things. Can you tell me how COVID-19 is actually affecting a cancer patient?
So it's really important to know that cancer doesn't stop growing. So we want to make sure that our cancer patients are taken care of incredibly well. Mm-hmm. We had to come up with a mitigation plan. And thanks to, of course, the governance in the state of California and the LA County and Orange County and other counties, the really mitigation plan worked relatively well for us, pretty well actually, where we are screening all of the people coming into our clinics, into the hospital. And by screening, I mean taking temperature as well as taking symptoms such as coughing or shortness of breath or loss of smell or loss of taste. And so patients really appreciate that we're screening, so we're not allowing visitors as well. So it has affected our cancer center population, but at the same time, we've taken such extraordinary steps where we have actually been able to control the COVID-19. And that's a moving target, as we know, but at the same time, we're really optimistic that our patients will be very well taken care of.
Absolutely. Now, one thing along, the lines over the past several weeks is that I did understand that comorbidities really are an issue for people who might, might get COVID-19. But somebody who has cancer, do they need to be extra worried? And at some point, did they worry?
So this is really a discussion with your healthcare provider as well. And of course, we all have to worry, but comorbidities are important issues. So we've learned through the world experience, comorbidities like obesity or diabetes or even uncontrolled hypertension is an important prognosticator for COVID-19. Okay. But at the same time, people who are on active therapy, such as chemotherapy or radiation therapy, of course, we have to be very concerned. And patients, for example, who have lung cancer and have interstitial lung disease, as an example, we have to worry. So it is very important to talk to your healthcare providers and come up with strategies how to really have a prevention strategy. And of course, we emphasize with all of our patients, families, and others, wash your hands, don't touch your nose, don't touch your mouth, and have good hygiene.
Exactly. Now, I know you may have seen some folks that maybe were too afraid to come to your facility at some point to receive treatment. what happens to the folks who need those treatments and any disruption in their care?
Yeah, so we don't like that at all, right? Like I said earlier, cancer doesn't wait. And we have to make sure we can take care of our cancer patients and we can screen the patients, we can diagnose the patients, we can treat the patients. So City of Hope never closed its doors. Our clinics are open, our hospital is open, and many of the hospitals around the area are open. Many of the clinics are open. So please don't be shy. Do follow up with your provider. There's also this importance of telehealth. Follow through with the telehealth, telemedicine, telephone, and as well as televideos. Those are all important. So don't delay your treatment. It is important to be treated for your cancer because the ultimate chance for a cure is very important, but timing is of the essence.
You know, I follow you guys on social media, and I think I saw a post about an individual patient who used to drive to Duarte and now can just go to your office in Newport. So tell me why it's so important that you are here in Orange County.
So we're very blessed to have a site open already in Newport Beach. And, you know, we didn't have a bandwidth initially for our main centers in Duarte. We have now 31 sites, and one of the sites is Newport Beach. So my motto is, you know, does Muhammad go to the mountain versus does the mountain go to Muhammad? So it's really Muhammad is coming to the mountain. So we're here in Newport Beach, we're here in Orange County, and we're here to serve our patients, our families, all of our needs that are needed for Orange County. And I'm very excited by that.
Well, I also understand that the City of Hope is working on a COVID-19 vaccine. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there are a number of programs that are going on at the City of Hope. For example, there's Dr. Don Diamond, who's trying to build a vaccine, Dr. John Zaya, who's also trying to build a vaccine. We're also working with our partners at TGen in Arizona, and we already have a CLIA certified test for detecting COVID-19 by PCR. We're developing an antibody test as well. So this place is hopping, meaning that we're trying to do a lot of research, trying to arrive at better therapies, prevention strategies for COVID-19. And it is crucial. We're moving much, much faster than I've ever seen it in my lifetime. And I've been practicing for 30 years now. You know, I was at Harvard for a long time, then at University of Chicago for a long time. Now I'm really excited that I'm here at the City of Hope for the past 5 years. And it's a great place to do science, medicine, and do it with very fast pace.
That's great. And I know there's several companies that are out there who are working on vaccines also at a rapid pace. So, you know, I think we're all just hoping and praying that anybody who is doing it will come up with one that will work very soon, because we don't want to have to go through this in the fall.
That's absolutely right. You know, we're trying to control this disease now, but will there be a resurgence later? And as we open up more and more, we have to worry about that. But we cannot be socially distant forever, right? We cannot be not going to school forever. We cannot be not having patients come in real time forever. So we have to take all of that into account. And we may not be able to go back to our original practices, no question about that. But can we come up with strategies to make it even better?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's something that we're looking forward to over the next month or so, to get back out there and to live with, you know, COVID-19 and coronavirus, because, you know, we have to live with all the other viruses that are out there at this time. And we're just hoping that the vaccine will come through very quickly. Any other things you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, you know, my wife and I had gone through the HIV crisis. We met at the Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, and we used to see a lot of HIV patients, and we had no understanding of it. But we really worked hard. The whole world worked hard to be able to come up with so many great strategies to fight against HIV. Then, of course, H1N1 and Zika virus. So we are used to having viruses invade us as human beings. But at the same time, COVID-19 is quite important for us to attack. And we know we've learned a lot from our past, and we're going to actually do it much faster to prevent this disease from overtaking us.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much again. I really do appreciate you taking the time, and you stay healthy.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you, Lisa. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after this.
Today, we are marking the beginning of a new era as City of Hope opens its first location right here in Newport Beach.
We have 500 scientists and doctors who have dedicated their lives to beating cancer. So they use that intellectual capital to try to make sure every patient gets the best care possible that's known to science.
Welcome back. Today I am joined by Dr. Mark Stein, who is with RadNet, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about why it is so important for you to make sure that you keep the appointments that you have now for radiology and going forward taking care of your health. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I hope everybody's healthy.
Well, good. Well, our numbers are looking really good here in Laguna Woods area. We are still at 8 counting. So for COVID cases, that's pretty darn good.
Let's keep it that way. That's incredible.
Exactly. And so, to the point of keeping up with your health, tell us a little bit about some of the things that our residents should be considering.
Well, the biggest thing that we're seeing is we had a massive drop off in our radiology appointments. Mm-hmm. Now, that may be partially protection for the patients, but the problem is that a lot of these appointments are very important. And I'm very worried that by patients not keeping even routine appointments, that we are going to miss diagnoses that can affect their health in the long term. Mm-hmm. And I think one always has to weigh up the risk of going to the appointment versus the benefits of going to the appointment. And I think the important thing here is, what are the risks of going to the appointment? Because I think that's what everybody, myself included, was worried about. I even postponed one of my routine medical appointments because of it. But I think we've got to be very careful when we do that.
Right. Now, we did have the opportunity to speak to Karen previously, and she was talking a little about some of the things that many of your sites have had to go through to redo to accommodate people because of everything that's been going on. Can you elaborate on that and why it was so important for you guys to go through those changes?
Well, the first one is we need to have social distancing. We used to have waiting rooms that could be full. We had seats next to each other. And that's just not acceptable with the present environment and with COVID. So what we've done is we've stopped having people sitting next to each other. We make sure that the seats, even though they are there, are blocked off so people sit far apart. We've also brought in that when you check in, and if you want to wait in the waiting room, that's fine. But if you want, we will text you and you can go and wait in your car or outdoors where you will feel more safe. Right. That's the first thing. The second thing is we have always been very attentive to cleanliness and sterilization within our practice, but we have increased that, where we now clean equipment between each patients. Our technologists wear masks, they wear facial coverings, they wear shields, and RadNet has been very careful. So our technologists have been given, for the high-risk patients, the N95 masks. For every other patient, they're using routine masks. If we know that a patient is COVID positive, we take extra precautions. We try not to do COVID positive patients. And if we do, we need to be told in advance. So if a patient is symptomatic for cough or for severe chest pain, we need to know about it so that our staff can be aware to treat those patients differently, to be more aware of social distancing, to be aware for our technologists, to make sure that none of our technologists come down with this disease.
Now, can I ask you, over the last, several weeks, 8 weeks or so, was imaging important to many people who were going through COVID-19?
So imaging is important, and it's been very controversial. There was initial studies that chest x-rays would be a very useful tool to diagnose COVID. We could do CTs to diagnose COVID, but it turns out that in fact, for the diagnosis of the disease, they are really not necessary. It's really for the follow-up of the disease. So for example, I had a friend who called me, had a cough, had all the symptoms of COVID. This was very early on. This was at the very beginning. And he wanted to come in for a chest x-ray. His physician had told him to go and stay at home and wait there if symptoms got worse. And I basically said, a chest x-ray is not going to change anything we do. You need to do what your physician says. And I actually put him on to some people up at UCI, and he ended up, unfortunately, 5 days later, getting worse. But the advantage was he was already in the system of one of the hospitals and went in, ended up in ICU for a couple of days, and then went home. So it's important to contact your physician rather than just worry about a chest x-ray or a diagnostic procedure, which isn't going to change the management.
Okay, good to know, because, you know, I think people want to know what the process is if they do have it. What are some of the things that they're going to do? Let's talk about what people should do, you know, going forward now. I believe that you have been contacting people who have had missed appointments or people who do need appointments now. It's okay for them to go to get their radiology exams, correct?
Absolutely. I think RadNet was proactive on this very early on, even before the shutdown they had started to put in place. The mechanisms to treat these patients, to do the social distancing, and they've become very aware, and our staff is very aware. They're aware both for the patients, and let's be honest, they're aware for themselves as well. So this is they're very good reasons for it. And RadNet has ensured that our technologists have the necessary protective equipment to protect them and to protect our patients. So you need to keep your appointments that you have.
Okay, perfect. And then may I ask you, what is the most popular ailment that you do, you know, x-rays for, imaging for?
Well, probably the most common is actually chest x-rays for cough, for fever. We do a lot of trauma patients. If you've hurt yourself and you may have a fracture, you definitely need to see a doctor and get that x-rayed if you need it. We do a fair number of screening mammograms. RadNet made a decision to continue to do screening mammography. The reason being that we're an outpatient office, and our fear was that if patients miss their appointments, they may not come back. And we really weren't sure when we would be able to start doing them again. So if patients were worried about it, they canceled, but we still continue to offer the procedure. It is important. I'm seeing both in friends and in patients delays in diagnosis because patients did not want to go to see their physician, or their physician was working remotely, or physician recommended they have an x-ray and they were too scared to come in. I think the important thing here is, as you mentioned, the incidence of COVID in Laguna Woods is very, very low, thank goodness, and let's keep it that way. But for that reason, the risk of coming into for an office for a procedure is low, and we take every precaution we possibly can.
So now, are all the offices open now, or is it just a handful right now?
So with the decrease in volume, and we really decreased in volume up to 75% in volume, we closed a number of offices. However, we have kept offices open in every single area. So for example, in Laguna Woods, Saddleback Valley Radiology is still open. As soon as that gets full, we will open up other offices. It is important that we utilize our resources adequately, and also the less number of technologists that are being exposed is important. So we use the facilities we have, and the plan is to open up offices as needed. But every area has an office open.
Okay, that's perfect. And then anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, I think the thing I really want to stress is, if you need an x-ray procedure, please do not hesitate to come in. It is very important that it be done. It is a very low risk procedure. I won't say it's zero risk, but nothing is zero risk. And you always in medicine weigh up the risks and benefits. If you need the procedure, get the procedure done.
Perfect. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Stay healthy, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, and you too. Stay healthy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after this.
Under the RadNet umbrella, prostate imaging is one of our most important men's health initiatives. We have an exclusive team of prostate-dedicated radiologists that read thousands of images from all around the globe. These radiologists are utilizing advanced technologies such as prostate MRI, which offers some of the most detailed visual representations of the prostate gland. When it comes to men's health issues, listen to your body and take a proactive approach. Talk to your doctor, begin screening, and take charge of your health.
Welcome back. Well, yesterday we had spoken with Jeff Parker about some of the new things that were opening up, and so we wanted to elaborate and go over some details regarding the pickleball courts as well as the driving range. So regarding the pickleball and paddle tennis, they are going to reopen next Wednesday. Now they are going to reopen with some special restrictions. So reservations can be made the day before. There will be new procedures to allow for limited recreational access, and they will comply with the federal, state, and county guidance, which is well as guidance from the USA Pickleball Association and the American Platform Tennis Association. So they are following strict guidelines. Now the hours for paddle tennis are from 7 a.m. to noon, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then again, you can make the reservations one day in advance from 1 to 2 p.m. and you need to call 949-268-2274, and you can make one reservation per scheduled call. Now the court time is scheduled for 1.5 hour increments, and the reservation times are as follows: 7 to 8:30 a.m., 8:45 to 10:15 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. to noon. Now, the next ones I want to tell you a little about is pickleball hours from 7 a.m. to noon, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You need to make the required reservations one day in advance, and that's again the same number at 949-268-2274, and one reservation per scheduled call. The court time is scheduled in 45-minute increments. Reservation times are 7 to 7:45, 8 to 8:45, 9 to 9:45, 10 to 10:45, and 11 to 11:45. Now, Gate 16 and the driving range are now open, and that is from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. For all of this information, I would watch for your Village News e-blast that should be arriving in your email shortly. Let's take a look at our movie for this afternoon. Our movie is going to be The Best of Enemies, and that will air at, I believe that is at 3 and 6 p.m. 3 p.m. is subtitles, and 6 p.m. is without subtitles, and that is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. And then also just a reminder that Monday is Memorial Day, and we do have a special movie for that day. It's The Notebook, and that'll be at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. And 2 p.m. is with subtitles, and 6 p.m. is without, and that is sponsored by Hogue. All right, we also have a really cool concert that's going on today and tomorrow, and that is called One Earth Live. And you can go to oneearthlive.com, and it is an all-day event, so you could tune in at any time and check out some cool music. It's like a little festival that they're having. So very cool. And then we also wanted to remind you that we've got the Memorial Day concert on Monday, and that will be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and that'll be on Monday, and that's a replay of the 2018 PAC concert that's going to have these young men who are singing, and it's going to have other great music, and should be fun, and like I said, that'll be from 10 to 12, so that'll give you 2 hours of fun, so that'll be great. And let's go ahead and take a look at our weather today and over the weekend. Looking very nice. We've got Today, low clouds and sunshine, 72-58. And then we have low clouds again tomorrow, but sunny, 78-59. And then Monday, we are going to get a little bit warmer, and that'll be 83-60. Now, we will have a special broadcast of This Day on Monday at 9 a.m., like we always do, with some great information and some great Zoom interviews. So make sure you tune in at the regular time at 9 a.m. on Monday. But then if you wanted to watch our rebroadcast today, you can see those at 12:30 and 5. Have a great weekend, and we will see you again here on Monday. Stay healthy and make sure you do your social distancing and wear your mask. Bye-bye.